Good morning. This is the time and place for the Planning Hearing Officers meeting for August 10th, 2011. My name is Vilya Zamataitis, and I will be conducting the hearing as the hearing officer. We have two cases today on the agenda, and relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. I would like to note that the second item on today's agenda, this would be for conditional use permit number PCUP 2011-013 for a property located at 4441 San Fernando Road, is being continued for 1 week, and it is being continued without further public notice. So this case will be heard on August 17th. If there is a conditional use permit on the agenda, which there is, and this would be for the last remaining case, under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.42 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a conditional use permit shall be granted if four required findings are present. They are as follows. 1, that the proposed use will be consistent with the elements and objectives of the general plan. 2, that the use and its associated structures and facilities will not be detrimental to the public health or safety, the general welfare, or the environment. 3, that the use and facilities will not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding properties. And 4, that adequate public and private facilities, including utilities, landscaping, parking spaces, and traffic circulation measures, are or will be provided for the proposed use. If the evidence presented in the application and at the hearing meets the criteria just described, the planning hearing officer can either approve or impose conditions for approval on the case in question. If the findings of fact are not evident, then the request will be denied. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. The hearing will proceed as follows. I'll read the description of the application request. I will then also read the reports received from other city departments and other letters or communications from interested parties. The applicant will be asked to come forward stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time period. Others in support of or in opposition to the application and interested parties will be asked to come forward to speak, again clearly stating both name and address within a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments if desired in response to testimonies given by preceding speakers within a 5-minute time period. The hearing will be closed and the case taken under submission. Decisions. In terms of the decision rendered after the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at the hearing or by submitting written responses, and have provided their names and mailing addresses. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures on the procedures from the Building and Safety Section Permit Services Center located on the same floor of this building. If you wish to speak, please write your name and address on one of the speaker cards provided at the table from the front door and submit it to our planning assistant. I would also like to inform the public that that the official proceedings of the zoning administrator's hearing are recorded on tape as part of the public record. And so we go to the agenda. The first and only case is conditional use permit case number PCUP 2011-009. The project is located at 345 North Cedar Street. It was continued from July 6th and July the 27th. The applicant is Laura Kopczynski, and the property owners are Laura and Jeffrey Kopczynski. The case planner is Roger Kiesel. The request is for the renewal of an existing application for a conditional use permit to allow the continued use of a private school located at 345 North Cedar Street in the R1650 medium-high density residential zone, described as Lot 12 and a portion of Lot 13, Jones Home Place tract. Okay. Now on to the interdepartmental comments. There were no significant interdepartmental comments. They were all very standard comments. This includes from the fire board, or from the fire department, that an annual fire inspection be completed. All necessary permits have been obtained, but again, this is an existing facility with an existing use and occupancy and zoning use certificate. So there was a comment made by the planning department that the environmental, and I'm going to get that to that in just a second. There was for the original application, I believe. Okay, right. As part of, I'll leave that type of summary to case planner Roger Kiesel to go through. But there was an environmental report done, and not environmental report, but an environmental analysis and initial study, and there was a negative declaration. So there were 3 mitigation measures, so that the mitigation measures should be followed. No comments from Integrated Waste or Neighborhood Services or from the Redevelopment Agency staff. Traffic and Transportation, again, does not have any additional comments, but I believe that the initial study, the mitigation measures, dealt with some traffic issues. No items from Engineering. And that is it. At this point in time, I'd like to turn the hearing over to Case Planner Roger Kiesel.
Good morning. The request is for a conditional use permit to allow the continued use of a private school in the R1650 zone located at 345 North Cedar Street. In the R1650 zone, operation of a private school requires approval of a conditional use permit. Conditional use permit case number 10202-CU was granted on February 15th of 2001 to allow the continued use of the private school. This CUP expired on February 28th of this year, so the current application is submitted for renewal of the CUP. The private school is located on a corner lot at the southwest corner of Cedar Street and Lexington Drive. The ground floor of the 2-story building, which was originally constructed as a residence, is dedicated to the private school, and the top floor is occupied by an office and a kitchenette. The subject property is bounded by Cedar Street to the east, Lexington Drive on the north, commercial property to the west, and residential property to the south. A 3-minute limit loading zone area for drop-off pickup of children is located on Cedar Street. The maximum number of children allowed to attend the school is 30. No additions to the building, change in operation, or expansion of the uses proposed as a result of the project. Staff believes that the findings can be made to support the conditional use permit. The R1650 zone is primarily intended as a zone for medium-high density residential development. The private school provides a support system for the community. Additionally, its location in close proximity to the residential uses allows for better access by the surrounding residents. A private school is a permitted use in a multifamily residential zone subject to approval of a conditional use permit. The private school has operated at its current location since 1996 and provides a service to the public and neighborhood without being a detriment to the health, safety, or environment. Neither the Neighborhood Services Division nor the Police Department have expressed concerns regarding this application. The private school location in a residential zone satisfies a need in the area and will not adversely impact the neighborhood. This is a predominantly residential neighborhood. The private school was built as a residential building and fits well within the neighborhood. The corner lot, which the existing school operates, abuts residential properties on the south side. There's an existing concrete wall at this location which mitigates some of the noise issues, and that was as a result of the environmental done in 1996. The site is located on the west side of Cedar Street, south of Lexington Drive, with commercial use to the west. This is an established and fully developed neighborhood. And as I said before, there aren't any additions to the building or changes in operation or expansion of the use. The circulation element of the general plan ensures existing development is provided with adequate and safe streets, capable of accommodating traffic in the proposed use. Both Cedar Street and Lexington Drive can accommodate the traffic generated by the use in this residential neighborhood. And again, there are no changes to the operation of the school. The continued operation of the private school should not affect traffic as it has been in operation since 1996. There are, as I mentioned, parking spaces strictly for drop-off, pickup of children during specified times of the day to prohibit anybody else from parking there, and that has eased traffic congestion on Cedar Street and in the neighborhood. And this was also a mitigation measure in the 1996 environmental. Staff has repeated, as well as a previous condition of the CEP, staff has repeated it as a condition of the current conditional use permit. The private school is an existing establishment, and all utilities, landscaping, and parking spaces are already in place. That concludes what I have to say. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I have one speaker card from Ms. Laura Kopczynski. Please come up and state your name and your address for the record, please.
My name is Laura Kopczynski. Address is 345 North Cedar Street, Glendale, California.
Okay, thank you. You have 15 minutes. You're more than welcome to either describe the project. We do request that you address the required findings.
Okay.
So,
That first?
however you'd like to proceed.
Okay. As was stated previously, it is an existing school. We've been there since '96. As part of the application process, the findings were that the objective of the general plan is being met. The existing Montessori school is not a detriment to any health issues. The preschool is a benefit to the city as providing a service, and I can't read the rest of these,
That's good.
but they are attached to the application, so I apologize. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, nothing has changed at the school. The parents have all been very happy with the services we provide. Being in a residential area, I have more and more parents walking to me, so that traffic is not an issue. And the 3 loading-offloading zone spots in the front of the school really do help alleviate the morning drop-off as well as the afternoon and evening pickup. So I don't have any other real comments. The ages of the children at the school are between 2.5 and 6 years of age. So it really is just a preschool. The times are stated from 7:30 till 6. And I believe that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I've got one question. The previous CEP was for 10 years. Is that
I would like to renew it for another 10,
okay?
if that is conceivable. It's very, to have that amount of time to be able to establish the business and plan makes it a little easier for me. So I would request that. Other than that, I don't have much of anything else to say. I've been very happy there. The children have been very happy, and I enjoy what I'm doing.
I do have a few questions. One was actually the ages of the children. So it is primarily preschool up through kindergarten. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, there is a limit of the number of students, up to 30. Do you
No more than 30.
No more than 30. All
That's
right.
licensed by the state of California.
Okay. And you are the owner of the business, but also the operator. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you been the owner and the operator since 1996?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you've been consistently throughout that entire time. Now, the hours of operation stated in the previous approval were from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And are those hours consistent with your business? Did you want to, because this is a new conditional use permit, you have the option of proposing new hours of operation. And I noticed that in the environmental, they did not specify hours of operation, or they did not have a parking demand study or traffic study. So, if there was the possibility that you wanted to
No.
address that. So you wanted to leave the hours as is?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, with that stated, and given the length of your operation, we've not had any letters in opposition. It seems like it's been a very seamless operation and something that is of asset to the surrounding neighborhood and consistent with all of the objectives of the general plan. I'm inclined to go ahead and approve this conditional use permit renewal at this hearing, so you will be getting a letter within a few days with the actual decision letter, that is. Okay? So with that said, we have no other items on today's agenda. Again, due to a public noticing issue, the next case for 441 South San Fernando Road is being continued for 1 week. This hearing is now officially closed, and thank you for coming.